Hello. Today I'm going to be looking at advertisements and how we can use them in the classroom to promote critical thinking. So let's start off by thinking, well, first of all, why advertising? And one of the main reasons is that it's so widely available and it's everywhere. And advertisements are in newspapers, magazines, they're on the internet, on your phone. We see them on billboards in the street, and of course included in that are video clips as well, which we can also make use of. But before I look at advertising in a bit more detail, let's go back to thinking about critical thinking. And we know that it is really about challenging conventional wisdom, looking for truth and accuracy and facts, and being skeptical. We can sum it up as being skeptical about what we see. And that leads to asking questions. And that really is the heart of critical thinking, asking questions. So this is something we want to foster in our students, getting them to ask questions. And not just factual questions, beginning with, for example, what and when, but questions that are perhaps more difficult questions or awkward questions, searching, inconvenient questions. And we can also call these perhaps higher order questions that begin with things like why and how and so on. Okay, so questioning, again, why advertising? Well, as I said, it's widely available, so it's a very rich source for teachers. But the other thing that's important about it is that the values of advertising, we can say they're the opposite of the values that we want to encourage in our students in the field of education. For example, advertisements are very subjective, not objective. They depend on emotion and exaggeration, rather like the picture here of the burger. It exaggerates its healthy properties. Misleading claims are often made and they're not backed up with evidence. So sometimes they're not at all truthful and sometimes they are unethical. So contrast that with what we're trying to do in education, or what I've called academic values in the broadest sense. So we want students to be objective, dispassionate. That doesn't mean to say they shouldn't be passionate about issues, but they shouldn't let the passion disrupt their judgment. They should be transparent in any research that they carry out, depend on evidence and facts before making a judgment, be truthful, acknowledge any sources that they have used along the way, and be ethical. I'll expand on that in a little bit later when we look at advertisements in more detail. So I'm going to show you a number of advertisements here, and we can think about how we can exploit them in the classroom for short activities or longer activities if we want. And a lot of these can actually be fun. We can get a lot of, but some of them raise serious issues as well. So look at this one. I mean, this is a little bit outrageous. We're expected to believe that the person on the left is the same as the person on the right, and all this is achieved by this cream, which is applied a few minutes every day. So it invites lots and lots of questions, which is good, which is what we want. And I've come up with this worksheet that we could use with almost any advertisement, but you might want to write something that is more specific, more sophisticated, perhaps specific to individual advertisements. So what claim is the advertiser making about their product? Well, they're always making, or usually making, a claim. And then think of 3 critical questions you could ask the advertiser if you came face to face with the people producing the advertisement. So what would we say here with this particular advertisement about the face cream? The claim is it will improve the appearance of your skin dramatically if the picture is anything to go by. And then here are 3 possible questions that the students could ask. I suggest working in pairs or small groups. Do these photos really show the same person? How long, how many days or weeks or months do you need to apply the cream to get this result? And then very tellingly, what tests did you carry out? Where is the evidence that this actually happens? Okay, so here's another one. This is an old advertisement. These advertisements not allowed anymore in most countries. More doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarettes. And there's a sort of trustworthy looking doctor puffing away on his cigarette. The implication here, because it's doctors, is that it's healthy to smoke these cigarettes, isn't it? So the claim is that more doctors smoke Camels than other cigarettes. That might be true, but the implication is that because of that, they are healthy. Think of 3 critical questions, or you could think of many questions to ask these advertisers. How many doctors were there in your survey, and where are the results? Do the doctors say that it is healthier to smoke Camels than other cigarettes? And then quite a sharp question at the end. Are there any health risks attached to smoking Camel cigarettes? And that comes down to the crux of the matter. Okay, here's something a little bit more modern, up to date, very topical, you might say. This is an advertisement for an anti-coronavirus mattress. Well, I didn't know these existed. And apparently they are corona resistant. But again, lots of questions are invited by this advertisement. Looking at this, again, a fairly modern one. This actually had to be withdrawn, I believe. It's a Duracell advertisement. Lasts even longer, but what does that mean? Longer than the old batteries, longer than batteries produced by other companies. Where are the test results and so on? It doesn't say. And in fact, they had to withdraw this because they couldn't substantiate this claim. Sales are always a good area for critical thinking activities. They're making these claims. For example, is it really a closing down sale? Sales up to 50%. And when we see this up to, that should raise our suspicions, because up to would mean, in fact, that most items are not 50% off. There'll be a lot at 10% or 20% or whatever. And then there are other questions you can ask. How long have these prices been in operation? Or were they just raised a week or so before the sale so that they could come down? And so on. Another thing to look out for, apart from up to, is from. And this is an advertisement for cheap flights. But when it says from, that makes you a little bit suspicious. So from $39, well, that is the absolute minimum. You can be sure of that. And there might be extras added on. Let's have a look at how we might fill in the worksheet here for this one. So they're offering very cheap flights. So students might ask, well, how many flights are there available at this price? Maybe there's only a limited number. What extras are there on top of this price? And there might be taxes and so on. You might have to pay for food and things like that on the plane. or luggage? Are there any restrictions? So maybe it only goes at 3 o'clock in the morning, or maybe the flights are only available for the next week or so. So a lot of questions to get to the bottom of this particular advertisement and this particular offer. Here's some more, kind of bringing in the ethical issue now. Is it really right to suggest that babies do well on sugary drinks? And if you read the text there, which is difficult to see, but it claims that it is actually very healthy for babies to drink these, to drink 7-Up. Another one, also related to sugar. This is good news if you like to eat chocolate bars and things like that, because apparently they can help you to lose weight. If you eat them, according to this claim, if you eat them before lunch, then you will eat less at lunch, and so you will lose weight. Well, again, that provokes lots of questions. Again, the ethical one, well, this is meant as a joke, of course. These pens, they're soft gel pens, and they can write on any surface, apparently. So soft gel pens make cheating even more comfortable. Okay, so it's a joke, but would you really want your students to have a look at this and get, I don't know, get ideas about it from it? We might fill in the worksheet like this. So the claim is that these big pens can write on any surface. So the answers, the questions you might ask: why did you choose this theme for the advertisement? Do you think cheating in exams is a serious problem? Doesn't the advertisement suggest that it's fine to cheat in exams? And so on. Is it ethical, perhaps, to use this topic? And so on. Okay, another ethical one, and this might really wake up your students if they're getting a bit sleepy. So when ordinary soap just won't do, and this is an advertisement for Dettol soap, hand soap, which kills 99.9% of bacteria. Okay, so it's used to shock, and again, the ethical questions. You might not want to show this to children, by the way. Then another technique that advertisers use that is useful to draw attention to is the testimonial. So there's somebody who's supposed to be from Colorado, and they're saying how good this particular product is. Of course, it might well be genuine, but it raises the issue: how do we know that these are genuine, they are true? And finally, there's a celebrity endorsement. And again, you would ask the question, well, does this celebrity really like this product, or were they paid a lot of money just to look at the bottle, as in this case here? Okay, now I've shown you one worksheet that we could use to exploit these advertisements. I've got a couple of other suggestions. This one is a worksheet for a structured discussion, and you could add questions to this, something for students to discuss in small groups. So what are the main aims of advertising? Obviously to sell the product. What methods do they use to achieve these goals? Well, they might amuse or shock or persuade, or they might exaggerate, and so on. And then we could think about what restrictions or guidelines should advertisers face. And students could come up with a list of suggestions, things that advertisers shouldn't be allowed to do, for example. Maybe at the end of the period of activity, when you've had a look at a lot of advertisements and discussed them, I think it's very good for critical thinking to look at both sides of an argument. So we've been rather biased in saying all these points against advertisement, but it's good to have a look at the other side. What are the points in favor of advertising? What are the positive things about advertising? So people might come up with points like they keep you informed of the latest products, they can often be amusing and fun, and so on. And the points against advertising we've sort of gone over already. We could use this either for classroom discussion or classroom debate, or for essay writing or something like that. Right, okay then, so those are the suggestions for activities surrounding advertising. As I say, it's a very rich source for critical thinking, and it's freely available. If you'd like some more information on ideas for critical thinking, activities, then please have a look at my books, Framework First and Framework. They include academic writing and also critical thinking. And they come with teacher's guides and photocopyable material and so on. If you'd like more information on these books or other points, please go to the website. And also, if you'd like to get in touch, if you have any queries about this video, then I'll be happy to try to answer them. Okay, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video.